Hi, and welcome back to NSTV's celebration of World Art Day. It's a day that we gather all local artists from Long Island to come in and celebrate all different kinds of arts. And today with us we have Betty Cole, who has a small business called Off Your Wall Art. And today she's gonna tell us a little bit about the business, and we're gonna do some painting, and we're gonna have a good time, and hopefully I won't make a mess out of myself. So here is Betty. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Erica. I'm so happy to be here and tell everyone about what I do and what local artists are working on all the time. So I'm really glad to be part of the program today.
Yeah, this should be pretty cool. So how about we start with you telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the arts, generally speaking.
I've always had a passion to be in the arts. I was a school teacher years ago. Initially, I was trained to be an art teacher, but I ended up teaching first grade right here in Long Island, which, if you know first graders, you can do art all day with them as well. And about 5 years ago, I took a big leap and became a full-time artist and small business owner and started Off Your Wall Art.
Oh, how exciting that is, huh? So tell us a little bit about the business. Like, what is Off Your Wall Art? That's an interesting title for a business and an interesting name. Tell us a little bit about it.
Off Your Wall Art is exactly what it sounds. It's art that really doesn't go on your wall. It's art that is purposeful and meaningful and useful. And really, my business is based on upcycling. Some people call me a recycling artist, a repurposing artist, an upcycling artist. But I just felt like I wanted to be the kind of artist that recognized that I have an effect on my global footprint. So I try and do as much as I can with repurposing, finding things that might go in the trash or even in the recycling bin, and either turning it into artwork myself and selling it, or through my other part of my business, which is teaching paint events, using those pieces that I find that, like I said, would normally go into the trash, using them and teaching people how to paint on those for their projects.
Now, did you find this past year during the pandemic, did your business grow at all? Because I know sometimes, these things are helpful because virtual, it opens up a whole new window for you. Or were you affected negatively? How was that for you?
So I've been doing this for 5 years. If you asked me a year ago, hey, Betty, would you consider teaching virtually? I would say, are you kidding me? I mean, I got to get my kids to teach me how to update a phone, let alone I never heard of Zoom before.
Yeah, right.
And I quickly pivoted because I wanted to keep my business successful, but also I found that people who were stuck at home just were looking for some source of creativity, some way to connect with those that they love or people that they work with. And yeah, everyone's Zooming all day, but they're like meetings for work. And so I transitioned my business to painting online and doing fundraisers and birthday parties and family reunions and ladies' night in, Girl Scout troops, bridal showers, you name it. I figured out how to source my supplies at a price where I wasn't charging more for the events, but making more accessible to people, packaging up my supplies, shipping them out to people, and then we Zoom together, and it's been really great.
So why don't we get started? I got all my supplies that you sent to me. I have this beautiful bottle.
First thing we have is an alcohol prep pad. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, wow, that's so COVID safe. It's not really a COVID reason. If you just take your prep pad and just give your bottle a quick wipe down, what you're doing is you're getting the surface ready for painting. When you paint on a canvas, it's really absorbent and the canvas will, hold the paint. Glass is a non-absorbent surface. It's not porous. And so the paints would want to naturally just sort of drip down. A coating of the alcohol will help keep the acrylic paint on there. Okay. So we're going to start with the bigger paintbrush first. You see that?
Got it.
Okay. And you have green paint?
Green paint.
And yellow. Just shake a little bit of that onto your paper plate that I gave you.
Okay.
And we're going to use the green and the yellow paint without washing our brush in between to get, you'll see this like grassy look at the bottom of my wine bottle. We're going to do that. The first step's really simple. It's yellow paint and green paint back and forth. starting at the bottom of the bottle, just sweeping up like that, going all the way around the bottle, mostly green, just a touch of yellow. And what we're doing is making these grasses going in different directions. So you could sweep one off to the side, a shorter one going a little bit higher, another one off to the side. They can certainly overlap. Some can go higher than others. Just constantly picking up a little green paint, a touch of yellow, and going all the way around the bottle to create this really pretty look of grass and stems and leaves for the base of the bottle. Any question?
Not yet. I
Okay.
think I'm doing good here. Oop, I just made a mistake. I'm going
Got
to
it.
spread it out.
Good. All right. Are you done with the first step?
Yep, I think I'm good.
Beautiful. Great. Take your brush, give it a good rinse. And an important part about painting on glass is you've got to make sure that you dry your brush with a napkin after, because if you go back onto your bottle with a wet brush, that paint's just going to want to run down. Next step, do you have a round sponge brush?
I sure do.
Okay, this is great. We're going to make the heads of our sunflower. You have a brown paint or like a tan color?
I do.
Okay, take your sponge brush, dip it into, I know your paint is probably in a little container.
Yeah.
But after you've dipped it in there, what happens is it gets pretty thick. You don't want to put that much on. Dab it onto your plate just to take some of it off. And then going all around the bottle, just intermittently, you're just pressing down and getting a perfect circle for the head of your sunflower.
Oh, that wasn't perfect. There we go.
Pretty simple, right? And so I'm just staggering them, one a little higher, one a little lower. Next, we are pouring yellow paint and orange paint on the plate.
Okay.
And we're going to do the sunflower petals. So this is the part that scares most people. So I'm going to show you the first step, and it is picking up mostly yellow paint and a touch of orange. So we're blending them together again, but it's mostly yellow and just a touch of orange. Think about the circle you just made as the center of a clock. And the first stroke you're making is 12 o'clock, and it's a brush stroke going up. Then you've got 6 o'clock. And I always mess this up because I am painting upside down and backwards, but I'm getting some more orange and yellow paint. So I did 12, I did 6, 3, and 9. And then I'm just filling in the numbers in between. 1 and 2, 4 and 5, 7 and 8, 10 and 11. And voila, it's a sunflower. Let me show it to you one more time. And it's pressing down to get the first 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock, those two strokes. Then it's 3 and 9. Now, some people will make their petals either too thick and they don't have room, or too thin and they need more. That's fine. It's not going to be exactly the hands of a clock, but it's just a starting point. And if you're comfortable, you don't have to follow that, and you can just get the idea that what you're really doing is just going all the way around the head of the sunflower and adding in your petals. And again, what's really pretty about combining the yellow and the orange on the brush at the same time, you don't have to worry about how do I blend those colors. It just happens on the brush.
I
How's
love
the
it.
flower? Let's see, hold it up.
I don't know which one.
That
Maybe
looks
this one?
great. That looks great. Love it. Oh, how pretty. Okay, so now we're going to work on painting some lavender at the bottom.
Okay.
And using purple and white. So just shake a little bit of that out onto your palette. And I gave you this tiny little brush, right? Little black handle. This one.
Got
Yep.
it.
Okay, so again, this is really simple. I go right back to my first grade teaching roots. We did the hands of the clock before. Now we're going to do a letter in the alphabet, and it is the letter V. Picking up purple and a touch of white on the same brush, mostly purple, a touch of white. Finding a place at the bottom of the bottle and making a letter V, tiny letter V. See that? Then I'm just going to keep stacking little letter V's, one inside of the other, going up. And that's how you create lavender. Now, the key to lavender is they like to grow in bunches, and they're not all, the same shape or size. So once you've created one of those, right next to it, you can do a shorter one. And again, just mostly purple, a little of white going back and forth, stacking it. And this one I'll make a little shorter. And maybe the one next to it on the other side, I'll have it blowing in the wind, leading out to one side like that. And they're just little V's stacked one inside of the other. You don't have to fill the whole bottle. You can swivel it, leave a little space in between, add another one over here. They can go up as high as your sunflowers or just, randomly in between. Any question about how to make that?
No, I mean, I'm not loving what I'm doing right now, but I'm sure it'll come out better when I'm done here.
When you're completely done is when everyone goes, oh, I can't believe how great it came out. I didn't think I could do this. Because it's one of these processes it's a project in layers.
All right, I think I'm good.
All right, let's see. Hey, that's really good.
I don't know if you could see it.
We have one last step.
Oh, good.
And then
Let's do it.
light it. Last step is getting the seeds on the sunflower.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
You might want to start it with me and then finish it later. I don't know how much time we have for that. But remember that tiny little brush? This one?
Yeah.
Back in the day when you can go somewhere and they can apply makeup on you and then they throw it away. Remember those days?
Yeah.
That's what these are.
Okay.
And so these are really great for details. Black paint. And we're just picking up the black paint on this little brush.
Okay.
And dot, little seeds in the middle of the sunflower head. I happen to love sunflowers. That's my thing. So just making all those little dots. And then when you're done with that, the best part, the fun part, is putting the light in.
Okay, I'm ready for the light.
Right, see how pretty that lights up? That's what you're gonna do. So, cool thing, the only part of this project I don't make is the cork. The cork is plastic. It has a switch on it to turn the light on and off. And once you've unraveled the string of LED lights, you're just gonna thread it through your bottle. Usually after I do something like this and people get to know me, people just start dropping off empty wine bottles on my driveway. So my mailman knows what the deal is. I know him for a long time. But those who collect my trash and recycling, I often wonder what they think.
Okay, here we go. Oh. Woo.
Ooh, yay! That's the ooh and ah moment.
That looks so beautiful.
It really does, right?
Yeah, it does. That's so cool.
Now yours says you are my sunshine on the outside. So something really fun is if you wanted to have an event with me, or some people just buy the supplies. I put together kits where you could buy the bottle, the paints, the brushes, everything, and you're just bringing some friends home, one day to hang out and you want a few kits. You can just tell me whatever you want the bottle to say, and I print that out on vinyl, and it just gets stuck right on top.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So cool. This was so great.
Thank you. You did a good job.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. So why don't you tell us what's next on the horizon for you, where everybody can find your bottles, how they can join one of these nights, paint day nights.
The big news is I am now part of an artists cooperative that has opened at the Walt Whitman Mall, and we're having our grand opening on Saturday. It's huge. It's called Devotion. We were temporarily in a location in Comac where the Whole Foods is, where Pier 1 used to be. And then the whole cooperative moved into the mall a few days ago. And what is an artist cooperative? I talked before about how, the industry was really hit hard. There were no craft fairs to go to.
Okay.
People are buying everything online. And so an artist cooperative is a place for artists to sell their work. You pay a rental fee for your space, and then the owners of the shop, they just stay there and they help sell your work all day. But it's a great place to gather with other artists and collaborate on work and just support one another. So I have an area in the store where I sell all of my work, and there's got to be about 40 to 50 really talented vendors. You can get photography there, ceramic work, and it's a really exciting time for all of the artists involved in this cooperative.
That sounds great.
A grand opening, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And how to find me if you want to just know more about what I do or book an event, or just ask me where I get my paint from. offyourwallart@gmail.com is my email. My website, my Instagram, my Facebook is all Off Your Wall Art. So that's how you can find me on any of the social media. You can email me, you can call me, and I'm here to help you get creative.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time, for showing me, for sending me the bottle. I'm so excited.
Loving me.
And thank you for celebrating World Art Day with us. And I hope that everybody reaches out to you. And I wish you the best of luck with everything.
Thanks for having me.
All right. You take care.